It's actually funny because you play really weird places at the beginning of your career, and like after you make it, like it's the middle place where like
you play normal.
You play normal, but
yeah, because at the start you're cramming in anywhere they'll take you, like
so you're
no matter where.
So I remember playing this pizza place where it wasn't like there was an audience and there wasn't a stage. It wasn't like that type of pizza place. We were just playing in a pizza place, like whatever, and that so they were like, oh yeah, you can come play. And in Colorado, a bunch of hippies. They're like, yeah, cool, just set up and play. Check this out, all right? So my girlfriend came out to New York with me for the first time. This is the first time she came out to New York, and she'd never really seen me at work outside of, you know, like playing shows or whatever. And it just so happened that that day I had a meeting with Jay-Z or whatever, and of course they let us both come in or whatever, and as we're walking in, Gwyneth Paltrow's leaving or something, right? You know, like, and I guess Chris Martin was there a minute earlier or whatever, and Jay-Z's like, what, you're not going to say hi to Gwyneth Paltrow? And he's like, oh, guys gotta have some wine, it's a Friday, don't worry, right? And like all these other things, and it was like the most accidentally impressive thing for my girlfriend, you know, for like me to be like, oh yeah, this is what works like. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's one of the oldest songs on the record, actually. It was we wrote it for Infinity on High, and it just didn't come together in time. Yeah, it was kind of like the first note of the record, kind of this new record. It was like the one thing that we knew we had for this record. I don't know. I just it satisfied something really cool because it's kind of like, you know, I guess what people think of our band being, you know, a few years ago, kind of sound-wise, sonically, but then it's also, I think there's no way we could have done it a few years ago. I mean, just whatever. It's kind of, I mean, musically, it's kind of the best of both worlds for that, where it's, you know, it's us pushing ourselves, and it's got all the weird, you know, eccentricities that we've kind of built up, but at the same time, it kind of sounds like Fall Out Boy, I guess. So.
I just remembered what the piano chords in track 1 sounded like. It was The Who.
Yeah. And we got, I read a review that was really scathing about that, where they're like, it just knocked off The Who. And I'm like, yeah, that was the point, man. Did you, like, were you listening to the lyrics at all? Like, I mean, whatever. And that's we did a lot of satire. Like we were talking about before, like, this, you know, satire, I think, is lost on a lot of people. And this whole record is just dripping with satire. I mean, it is just super saturated. And,
musically and lyrically.
And musically and, exactly. Like, I think I Don't Care, everyone, you know, like, I Don't Care has this blues riff and then this, like, just overblown, like, glam rock, you know, synthesizer clap thing or whatever, and that's, like, it's part of it's humor, you know, it's part of the story.
It's intentional.
Definitely intentional. So it's definitely, because, I mean, like, I love The Who, and obviously, like, it's not disappointing to have to, like, play a song that sounds like The Who, but the reason it sounds like The Who is because I think it's kind of like people, I mean, that when you listen to that first song or whatever, lyrically it's kind of talking about a little bit how self-conscious everybody is and how everybody has to, like, you know, everybody always has to have some sort of benchmark for something. They can't ever, like, do anything new or, like, whatever, you know. Nobody wants you to sing about tragedy or whatever. No, you know, it's got to be, like, entertaining and entertainment or whatever. So I was just thinking about, like, The Who. Like, that's every rock band just wishes they were The Who. So, you know, I'm kind of just saying it.
Speaking of coming from a weird place, we have actually spoken before last time you were with us, and I asked you what it was like to play live, and your response was you likened it to having sex in front of 100 of your best friends. Yeah. Does that still hold?
Oh, that's crazy. Maybe, yeah. I said that.
Picture having sex in a room with 100 of your friends cheering you on.
That's what it's like.
I can see that. Yeah. I don't remember saying that, but I mean that's if I'm a porn star and like I'm comfortable with it. But like in that I'm doing this thing I love to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting hot and sweaty and I'm doing it as hard as I can. With a lot of people watching, then yes, it is like that.